Welcome to One Brothas Mind, and I am KD Smooth. Today we will question and challenge popular information and views from a B1 perspective, while we expose the real facts you need. We do this to strengthen your logical, critical, and discerning thinking skills. Because in today's world, hard choices are mandatory and they come with consequences. So you need all the information. And at One Brother's Mind, we do this from a B1 Yeshua the Christ follower's perspective. Now, if you're not ready, you better get ready with Katie Smooth at One Brother's Mind. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It's Katie Smooth coming back at you with a new report. I pray you all are doing well. Shalom, family. In today's report, family, we're actually going to have a conversation. Actually, not even a conversation. We're going to ask some questions that many have been asking already, but most have not. We're going to ask some questions in regards to this issue. U.S. police and the stats on how majority of the people that they are deleting are so-called black people. The national stats. Yeah, it's our third installment in our systematic white supremacy series. If you want to catch up on this particular series or any of the other reports that we have here at One Brother's Mind, please go to the One Brother's Mind YouTube page, click on the video or the live tab, either one, and you'll find a long list of a variety of reports that we've done on a variety of issues, including if you just want to specifically get to the systematic white supremacy, this is number 3. If you want to get there and view that playlist, go to the playlist tab and you'll find it there. Okay. Also, before we really dig in here, family, make sure you hit the like button, smash the like button here, and share this report on all your social media with all your peoples. And be sure to be subscribed to One Brother's Mind, where we try to bring you the information and facts you need. Okay, as I said before, we're going to focus in this report on asking some questions as we analyze another aspect of systematic white supremacy. And again, for my white listeners here, this systematic white supremacy is not a personal attack on you, but it is an examination or an attack on the systems that have been put in place to maintain white supremacy here in the U.S. or in the Western world, or really globally. Okay? So a lot of my white brothers and sisters struggle with hearing systematic white supremacy. Is mainly because many of you guys don't fully understand what's being discussed. It's not a personal attack on you. It's an examination of the systems that are baked in the cake, that are in place, that have been for hundreds of years, that have yet to be challenged or dismantled or taken down to stop the negative effects that are happening to so-called black people for hundreds of years. And this is just one chain link in the fence that we're going to talk about. Each of these reports are just one piece, one chain link in the chain of systematic white supremacy. Okay? All right. So we're going to look at this. Many of you guys have seen a recent report. We're going to look at this report, the report about the brother that was driving the truck that they ended up sicking the dog on while he was literally had his hands up. We're going to look at that report because many of you may believe you've seen all of the information on that, but there's a piece of that report that they have purposely been leaving out in most cases, in most places where you're seeing that. And that piece is extremely crucial to what happened and why things went to the escalation level that they did. Okay, so we're going to take a quick look at that, and I'm going to show you, I'm going to highlight that missing piece that you may not be aware of. Okay, and for most of my brothers and sisters out there, y'all already pretty much know. It's not going to be surprising, but y'all may not have seen it either, but because y'all know how most police get down and how they, y'all know, but I'm going to show it to you anyway. All right, so real quick, we're going to have a quick look at this report, this video clip, and I'm going to highlight to you exactly what it was that really pushed this situation to the result that it did. Okay? All right, here we go.
There's growing outrage over the police officer who released his dog on a black man who was surrendering.
Do not release the dog with his hands up. Don't. Do not get the dog off of him.
Their drama begins as the Ohio Highway Patrol chase a truck driver who they tried to pull over for having a missing mud flap, but he failed to stop. At one point, he does pull over, but...
Okay, first, let me back up a little bit here. The whole situation was over a semi-truck missing a mud flap. The driver or the truck was not a threat to anyone. It was supposed to be a regular traffic stop. That's the first point. A regular traffic stop, okay? And it was just a missing mud flap. So now you got this with a lot of the vacancies in semi tractor drivers that are out there. You have a lot of drivers or new drivers, young drivers like this brother. I think the report says he's about 23 years old that are driving these trucks. Okay, now especially young so-called black men driving these trucks now. They're new to the industry, new to the field. And as far as this young driver, whatever race they are, he's driving his truck, and then all of a sudden, the police is behind his truck trying to pull him over. And like many, or really most of us so-called black people, there's a state of terrorism, psychological terrorism that most all of us fall into. It's like that sunken place on Get Out. It's like, what? Yeah, it's like that. And we're trying to figure out, what did I do? I wasn't speeding. I wasn't swerving. I was driving as I'm supposed to drive. Why are the police just trying to pull me over right now? Now, he has no idea that his mud flap is missing. So to the driver, There is no reason why the police should be trying to pull him over, except for something satanic. All right, here we go. Let's continue.
Failed to stop. At one point, he does pull over, but with a state trooper training his rifle on the truck.
There it is right there, family. Right there. You heard him. The driver, the young brother, actually pulled the truck over and stopped. Okay? Again, over a missing mud flap. There should be a regular traffic stop. But what the satanic cops always do is escalate the situation, okay? Especially when it's someone so-called black driving the vehicle or the truck or what have you. You're seeing it right on your screen. This dude has a semi, if not fully automatic weapon pointed at the driver. At the time, the driver has absolutely no idea why Satan is trying to pull him over. He hasn't done anything wrong to his knowledge. Now, pause right here, family. It should only be, like I said, a regular traffic stop, right? And at the time when he pulls over, as you see in this image, this clip, there should be at least one or two or three officers, whatever they want to do, walking up to the driver's side of the cab to conduct a regular traffic stop. Say, hey, guy, or even if they want to say, hey, we're just doing a regular traffic stop, but you didn't stop for us, so we're going to need you to step out the vehicle. Okay? Put your hands out or do whatever, give them whatever de-escalating instructions they need to ensure nothing additional is going on in their mind. They always is, oh, we're so terrified. We're so afraid for our lives. And the man is just driving a truck. Okay? But that's how Satan operates. But instead of doing that, they did what you see on your screen. What they regularly do to us, so-called black people, and especially here in the U.S. Regular traffic stops, they gonna draw their weapons on us and have them pointed at our head, all right? The head of our children or all of the occupants in our vehicles. They don't do that to nobody else but us for the most part. Okay? So when you have a weapon pointed at you, oftentimes that tends to inspire you and motivate you to take some sort of evasive action. Let's see what the driver decided to do once he sees this semi or fully automatic weapon pointed at him.
The trucker hits the gas again, and the chase is back on.
He pulls off. He's like, they trying to delete me. And I haven't done anything wrong. Why are they trying to delete me? In fact, there's a little bit more information after this.
Spike strips finally bring the truck to a stop.
Okay. In other reports, it's not in this one specifically, but while he was driving, before he stopped the first time, he called 911 while he was driving the truck and said, hey, there's police cars behind me trying to pull me over. Chase, I don't know why they're behind me trying to pull me over. What's going on? I'm scared. Right? At that moment, that was another opportunity for communication to happen, even if the 911 dispatcher had no idea why the police officers were trying to pull him over. It would have taken maybe 30 seconds for that dispatcher to get in contact with one of the officers and say, hey, what's going on? The driver just called us, wants to know why he's being pulled over. He's afraid to stop, etc., etc. Oh, he's got a missing mud flap. We're just doing a regular traffic stop. Everything's okay. Tell him everything's okay. He's missing a mud flap. That's all. And we want to do an inspection. Now, the operator get back on the phone and say, oh, driver, you're missing a mud flap on the back of your truck. That's all. It's a regular traffic stop. There's no need for you to be afraid of anything. That's what's going on. Guess what the driver's going to do? Oh, is that all? Oh, okay. Pull right back over and stop. None of this happened. None of it. Would have only taken 20, 30 seconds. Right? All this driver knows is he called 911, told them the police was behind him. He had no idea why. They were trying to pull him over and he was scared. They told him nothing other than you need to pull over. Well, okay, I'll pull over. He pulled over, as I already showed you. They get out with at least semi-automatic weapons pointed at him. Right? So he sees that immediately, which terrifies him even more because, again, he still has no idea why. What did he do as the operator of this semi that requires or warrants semi-automatic weapons or any weapons pointed at him as if he was a threat? Nothing. But they leave this part out. Most of the clips after this clip came out, I saw most of all the other clips that I saw after this, they always chopped that first part off. This part that I just showed you with the weapon pointed at him. Okay? They want to leave that out. They want to sweep that under the rug. That they escalated the problem. They terrified a driver. They terrified a black person, as they normally do. They disrespect and they escalate the problems. Okay? So he pulled over. They pointed the weapons at him. He saw that, got even more frightened, pulled off again. It's like, oh, they not shooting me. Now he's running for his life at this point. He calls 911 again and says, hey, they got guns pointed at me. What did I do? Why is this happening? I haven't done anything, right? Again, I haven't heard, let's put it this way, I haven't heard no reports that the 911 dispatch offered him any information whatsoever as to what was happening and why they were trying to pull him over. Other than you need to pull over. But they got guns pointing, they trying to shoot me. I'm scared. So ultimately, you guys seen the rest of the video. Eventually they used the spikes and stuff to flatten his tires or whatever. They got him to pull over. Okay. He's out. He steps out. They go through the procedure. Y'all seen the rest of it. He's out. He's got his hands up. He's trying to do everything to make sure there's no reason, no issue for them to attack him or try to delete him in any way. And y'all know the rest. Okay. So with that, go back to this dude. And 9 times out of 10, if he did it, he wasn't the only one. Okay. 9 times out of 10. Because that's how they get down. Okay? So, this is one of the key factors that escalated this whole situation. This is their white supremacy. I not only have the authority to pull you over with my sirens, with my uniform, with my vehicle, but let me add to that by pointing this at you at your head. And then telling you to stop and get out and walk toward this. Yeah. Somebody did that to them? Nah. Especially somebody they knew had a history of deleting people. No. You're not trying to walk toward them and this is over a mud flat? No. So, with that being said, family, I just wanted to show y'all that nugget that they are leaving out everywhere. With that being said, family, we're going to cover, and let me say this, y'all have seen all the different reports that you specifically have seen of them deleting and attacking and escalating and beating and assaulting all the different so-called black people all over social media. Y'all have seen it. And those are just the ones that were caught in some way or form on video. That's only a fraction of the ones that happen on a day-to-day basis. Okay? So, specifically, here with the, as you see on your screen here with the Wall Street 24/7, they produced a article with this title, "The Police Department in Every State That Deletes Most People." You see the writer Angelo Young, July 30th. I wanted to share with you just a few highlighted excerpts from this article. You can find it at where the location where you see on your screen. You can search Wall Street 24/7. It'll pop up and you can read the full article for yourself. Okay, so a couple of the highlights from this article is they always try to start off with a little sugar, talking about how a particular police force was trying to foster good whatevers between them and community. Skip all that. All right, we're gonna get to the meat of the article. And it was talking about this initiative, or you could say these initiatives come partly in response to the fact that a dozen people were deleted by Newark police officers from 2013 to 2022. Nearly 2/3 of whom were so-called black people. Okay? So 12, a third is so 8 of the 12 people that Newark police officers deleted were black. That's a large percentage, even though you may be saying, well, that's a small number. No, that's a large percentage. And again, to continue, nearly 2/3 of whom were so-called black. Half of those deleted were not armed. So 6 of the 12 that were deleted weren't even armed. So they were not a threat at all. Similar to this truck driver. They still deleted them. And 1 in every 4 was actually running away, was fleeing from the Newark police officers. So 3 of the 12 were fleeing. And they're fleeing with no threat. They still deleted them. Okay? Moving further in this article, again, I'm only giving you highlights. Basically, they said 24/7 Wall Street reviewed data from the Mapping Police Violence source, a research collaborative that collects data on police deletions across the nation from 3 large crowdsourced databases. Data was accessed on February 22nd, 2023, and includes all police department deletions from 2013 through the end of 2022. 3 of the cities on the list have deleted more than 100 suspects from 2013 to 2022, led by Los Angeles Police Department. Many of y'all already know this. This is not surprising. Los Angeles Police Department had 167 deletions, followed by the Phoenix PD with 142, and the NYPD with 102 deletions, right? They made a specific note that the Phoenix PD is the fifth most populous city, but still its police officers have deleted more suspects than the larger cities of Chicago, Houston, Phoenix had deleted 142 compared to 92 by Chicago and 97 by Houston. Okay? Yeah. The NYPD disproportionately deleted more black suspects than police in Los Angeles and Phoenix. So you thought Phoenix was bad. NYPD is targeting so-called black suspects and deleting them even more than Los Angeles and Phoenix. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, about 23% of New York City's residents are so-called black. But 2/3 of the 102 people killed by NYPD officers were identified as black. Okay, 2/3? So what's that? Like over 65 of maybe 67 of the 102 people deleted by NYPD were so-called black people? Yeah. And additional 57% did not have a firearm. So 5% roughly, or 65 so-called black people were deleted, and 57% of the 102 people NYPD deleted didn't have a firearm. So approximately 60 something. I ain't got my calculator calculating the calculations, but yeah, it's approximately 60% or 60 something plus people didn't even have a firearm. So they were not a threat in any way to their officers. And about 35% of the 102 people deleted by NYPD were fleeing. So approximately a third, a little more than a third. So what's that, like 35? And they were running away. No threat to the officers, but somehow they're still deleted. Yeah. At least 3 out of 4 suspects deleted by law enforcement in 8 of the 50 deadliest U.S. police departments by state were so-called black people. Led by the police departments of St. Louis, Detroit, Atlanta, where between 91 and 96% of people deleted by police officers in this 10-year period were so-called black people. At least 75% of suspects deleted by officers in 3 of the deadliest U.S. police departments by state did not have a firearm, so they were of no imminent threat to the police officers. Police departments in Burlington, Vermont, Honolulu, and the Connecticut State Police, in fact, in 21 of these 50 police departments, at least half of the deleted suspects did not have a firearm. Again, y'all can pull this article up for yourself and read the whole thing. I'm just giving you the meat of the article. It goes on to say, Police in 27 of the 50 deadliest U.S. police departments by state receive no disciplinary actions for their involvement in these deletions of 661 people from 2013 to 2022. In 10 states, at least 1 in 10 officers involved in these deletions receive some form of disciplinary action. Now, that's real vague right there. That could be only termination. That doesn't necessarily mean they were charged. They could be just as simple as a termination. Okay? But I just wanted to highlight to you, this is why, family, Satan and his minions, the cops in this regard, why they lie and do everything they can to ensure that they don't keep accurate information and stats and numbers on this aspect and others in regards to how they're doing their jobs and what exactly they're doing. Again, this information is based on a collaborative, a crowdsourced databases called Mapping Police Violence. They're independent. So basically, they're doing the best that they can do to watch all the information nationwide every day and collect the specific data and stats and occurrences of these deletions the best they can. But that's not, y'all know that's not 100% accurate. The only ones that have the full accurate information are the satanic cops. Okay? Now some of you may be saying, well, okay, yeah, all right, well, the cops got to report, in their reports what happened and who it is and everything, and turn that in, right? That's what you thinking as they doing this, right? They out here on the streets. They've been doing this for over 400 years to us. Over 400 years. But again, some of y'all saying, well, these devils are supposed to file the reports and document the information of them doing this accurately. Really? I mean, previously I did a report not too long ago where the FBI released their numbers, okay, over a certain period of time, similar period of time, right? And it was focused on the police popping they power tools at people, right? And of course, the majority was happening toward so-called black people, right? But there's a bunch of different laws. You got to go to One Brothas Mind, check out this additional report. I go over it in detail. Basically the laws vary. The reporting laws vary per state and pretty much per police department, sheriff, all that other type of stuff. They only have to report a certain vague information, if anything at all, right? They don't want to report. They want to keep these lies going, right? That's what they want. Because if there's real, true transparency, most people would be able to see who the devils are immediately. And they were like, this got to stop. We got to make some adjustments. We got to shut this down. No. But because they got all these trickerations baked in the white supremacist systematic cake where they can lie, they can leave certain pieces of information out in the data, the race or this or that, or they can change people's races to make it look different. They can not report at all. They can just all the look. Hasatan, that's what he does. For he is a liar and the father of it. Right? Again, go to One Brothas Mind. Look for this report. I go into more detail about the FBI's numbers. But even though, whether it's this crowdsourcing independent databases or the FBI numbers, just the information or data that is getting collected, which is a small percentage of the truth, even the small percentage of data is clearly identifying who's being targeted. That they are targeting us, so-called black people, disproportionately. Right? Well, like I said, they out here doing this. They ain't never stopped. They have never stopped. So, with that being said, not only have they never stopped, but in the FBI report, the pows are increasing. And more, like I said, are going unreported. They're just doing it, doing what they do, and just not reporting it to anybody because they don't want to report it on purpose. Because this is how they lie, by omission. Keep the numbers down. No harm, no foul, nothing to see here, right? And with that being said, okay, in most cases, whether it's the pows or the actual deletions, they're primarily targeting soft targets. Ladies, kids, or teenagers, people in their cars, teens, elderlies, wherever they can get away with their real intentions. The disabled, there's a whole gang of different reports and stories where they go out. People, parents, single parent will call the police for help for a mentally disabled teenage child or adult child. They just having a bad day, having an episode, and that's the last the world sees of that mentally disabled person. Yeah. Soft targets, but they don't mind, as y'all seen in all the videos, going directly straight at the head, at the necks of grown so-called black men. They don't mind that either. Why? Because this is the system they have in place, right? This is it. They don't mind. They don't really care about what they're doing, pointing their guns, busting caps at people, deleting people, especially mostly so-called black people, because after they have done the deed, what are they going to do? The devils that have actually did or committed the deletion, they're now going to commit an investigation. They're going to, the same ones that have committed the crime are going to launch the investigation. Many of you are familiar with Pulp Fiction. Basically, you get the two officers that are out doing the dirty work. You get the chief or the FBI or whoever, the unions, they come in and do the cleanup. They the cleanup man. And then you have even independent white citizens out here assisting the whole thing. Really wishing, many of them, that they can be on the team of systematic white supremacy. Operation Police Officer. Yeah. So again, the whole system is rigged. That's why it's called and identified as white supremacy or systematic white supremacy. The whole system is rigged. It's satanic. Let me just move forward. So, as I said before, the same individuals, the same devils that committed the crime are the same ones responsible for the investigation. Why aren't there independent any and every time there's a devil involved pop off or deletion? Why isn't there a whole independent third party investigation crew that comes in and starts the investigation? You get the satanic criminals out of there. You get them away from the scene so it can be investigated more non-biasedly. Yeah. Too much like right. No, we're going to just keep letting the devils do the investigation, and there's no investigation. They're looking for every angle in these situations, every excuse they can come up with. That's what's being investigated, to cover it up, to cover up the deletion, to cover up the crime. This is exactly how the devils in the police operate. Same thing at most corporations and companies and businesses. We're going to investigate. No. You know, there needs to be independent investigation. If you want to have a better chance of getting a accurate assessment of what occurred, right? And remember, Scripture says in John chapter 8, verse 44, that ye are your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer, this is Scripture, y'all, from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Systematic white supremacy. So, as I said in my previous reports, they are hunting us. What you gonna do about it? So-called black people, so-called black and brown people, what you gonna do about it? They are hunting us. You can't hide from this problem. Many black people, y'all know what many of us are doing. Hiding. A lot of my white brothers and sisters, y'all don't know this, but most black people limit and restrict their going zones. They're going out of the house. How they move, how they operate outside their doors of their house. Specifically for this reason. They only go out during certain times of the day. They avoid being out after dark, and all just on and on and on. They're doing this, hiding from the devils out there that are hunting us. Because in many so-called black people's minds, the less times or opportunity that we're outside of the doors of our homes, the less opportunity those devils get to have to try to hunt us down. It's a psyop. It's called psychological terrorism. But this is how most so-called black people, how we live our lives here in this country, how we have had to live for over 400 years. Yeah. Because as you see in the background, there's always white supremacists watching us, looking for an opportunity to hunt. So, some of the questions that I have. Again, what are we going to do about it? Family, first, smash the like button. Smash the like button. Share this report on all your social media with all your peoples, and be sure to be subscribed to One Brothas Mind, because we try to bring you the information and facts and questions that you need. So now we're entering the question portion of this report. With all this happening and escalating, is it not, family, pull up 2023 and beyond? Why are we not? All these things are happening and there's nobody pulling up to these devils, these officers' residences. There's no protesting going on. Why? Yeah. Oh, wait, I get it. But when it happens to you or your sibling or your aunt or uncle or your child, you want everybody to pull up, right? Yeah. But nobody's pulling up for the truck driver. Or just run the list of the ones you just seen this year. Different reports. Where's the pull-ups for them? Right. Just asking questions. And again, I don't condone, let me say that up front, I do not condone any violence or vengeance, because of course, vengeance is mine, saith Yah, right? None of that. I don't condone any of that, but that doesn't stop us from protesting, demanding justice, demanding, say, a protection bill like they gave the Asians. Here recently, Biden, y'all president, gave the Asians a government protection status. Even though the stats far outweigh the people that are being attacked and terrorized is us, so-called black people, more than everybody combined. Yeah. We ain't got no special protection classification. Right? So, with that being said, family, again, do not condone any violence whatsoever. Don't go out doing nothing. Don't start nothing, won't be nothing. But I'm just asking some questions. Is there going to be a point when so-called black people start to defend our lives? Is there going to be a point that starts to happen? I'm just asking questions. Is there a point when black people or so-called black people going to stop surrendering to these devils? Oh, it's happened before. Again, I don't condone any violence, but if the devil comes after you to take your life, are you just gonna fold over and surrender your life like it has no value? Or are you gonna at least attempt in some way or another to defend your life from these devils? I'm just asking questions. Yeah. I mean, even in scripture, in the book of Luke, chapter 22, verse 36. Now, just to give a little context, this was at the end of the Passover supper, when Yeshua was telling the disciples, you know, some of y'all gonna betray me, some of y'all gonna deny me, you know, all this going on, and the time is drawing nigh where they gonna come get me. They coming after me. And if y'all, well, y'all are my disciples, they coming after y'all too, right? Yeshua was trying to get them not only further prepared, but for what was coming, but to continue to teach his disciples what they needed to know. And so they were sitting around talking after the Passover supper, and they was like, do we need to get swords? We got 2 over there. I mean, we got a few around here, whatever. And Yeshua answered them, if you read the whole chapter, and I do encourage you to do it, then said he, speaking of Yeshua, unto them, but now he that had a purse or money, and it was in the context of, if you think your money is going to help protect you, let him take it. Use it. If you think you can use it in a way to help protect you or protect y'all, so be it. And likewise, he that has script or his script, if you have writings that you can spread around, that you think you can write to certain representatives or whatever, whoever, that try to get some form of protection or help get you out of situations, do that. And he that hath no sword, you ain't got no money, no script, you say you won, you ain't got no sword either, let him sell his garment and buy one. And to be clear, family, in this scripture, you got to understand the importance of his garment, or a garment during these times, your cloak, if you will, your robe, or whatever you want to call it, that they wore during these times. That garment, or those garments, were your primary form of protection against disease, against the weather, everything. It kept you warm, and when it was cold at night, you know, all that. So your garment protected your life. So that's why Yeshua says that he that hath no sword, let him sell his garment which protects you and buy one. If y'all think your sword will protect you better. It's basically what Yeshua is saying. So, family, is it time to acquire you some arm for self-defense? I mean, here, literally, this report is kind of falling loosely into the middle of this verse about if one of them wanted to use their script, this is a form of writing. This is a form of expression and notification and protest in today's world. This report by itself and all the others that you guys come across. This is us raising awareness and bringing attention to the things that are going on to try to help spark and inspire and push the needle in regards to us getting more protection and respect out here in these streets. Right? So again, Yeshua is like, hey, if you don't got no sword, hell, hey, go ahead and sell your garment and get one. If you think y'all feel more protected that way. And then he goes on to say, but I have to, go ahead and fulfill, basically, I'm paraphrasing here, what I came here to do. So they're coming and they're to get me, and they're going to get me. Because he already knows what's going to happen. He came here to die for the sins of the world, to be crucified. So if y'all with me, they're gonna come after y'all too. So in other words, another way you can look at this verse is, hey, protect yourself by any means necessary. Right? You can pull that understanding out of this as well. But don't forget, when Hasatan comes for you, no matter what form of protection you are trying to use and to protect yourself, that's not going to stop Hasatan from coming for you and coming to take your life. Don't forget that, family. Okay, let's move forward. As I said, it's happened before where some so-called black people decided to answer that question. You know what? We're done submitting and surrendering just willy-nilly while y'all just deleting us whenever and however y'all feel like it. We're done with that. We're going to defend ourselves. This happened before, and this wasn't the only example. Throughout history, it's happened in different places. Some of you are familiar with the film, The Deacons of Defense. They stood off and protected an area of town. I forget the name of the town it was, but they basically did the same thing. And it was like, all right, if it's going to go down, it's going down. We're going to defend ourselves. So what you want to do? Ain't nothing between us but air and dirt. What you want to do? Right? I'm just asking, is that time, has that time returned? Has it ever went away? I'm just asking questions. Again, I'm not condoning or recommending anything. I'm just asking questions. Isn't your life valuable and worth defending? Because y'all get it, especially with the devil police, when they interact with you, the first thing they want to do, they're trained to do, is to disarm you and to put you in cuffs. Put you in a surrender or submissive position where you cannot defend yourself. And sometimes they wait to escalate until after they've, got you in a surrender position, like they did with our brother getting out the truck. You saw this devil come out with this dog. And the other devils was like, okay, no, we don't need the dog right now. We okay, just hold him over there. They trying to act, not escalate to that point. But this other devil came out, that's what he does. The dog even ran the opposite direction at first. If you remember the video, the dog was going to see the officers. Like, hey, what's up? Charlie, what's up? Bob and Mike, how y'all doing? And the devil dog cop was like, killer, this way. Get him. Why he has his hands up? Is it not time? You know. Now, in that situation, if he had stepped out of that truck with one of these power tools, there's a good chance they would all just open up on him. No questions asked. Even though he didn't point his power tool at anyone or threaten anyone. They did. I showed you the picture and clip of that. But he didn't. It's not, a power tool is not a threat until you aim it or point it at someone. But to most these police devils, these white supremacist race soldiers, just a black man being armed is all the excuse they need to open up and delete people. Because in America, so-called black people, we don't have the right to protect ourselves, the right to carry arms. Right? Not really. It may say that on some paper here or there, but out here in these streets, yeah. So, again, we're just asking the questions. Looking at the stats that they don't want the world, they don't want so-called black people or even our white brothers and sisters, they don't want nobody to see the real numbers and real evidence of what they're doing out here in these streets to so-called black people. Because if people saw the real numbers, more people would be more motivated to shut this stuff down or to at least respond by defending our lives. So, with that being said, family, we want to have a brief word from our unofficial sponsor, a brief commercial break from our unofficial sponsor, and then we'll return. Here we go. Again, our unofficial sponsor for this report. And shout out to Professor Black Truth. If you don't know who that is, search him up on YouTube. You need Professor Black Truth and his reports in your life.
A word from the official sponsor of Black Empowerment, Power Tools. There's no telling when something's going to come up, so make sure you carry your power tools at all times. You never know when you're going to need to bring the hammer down, or when you'll have some trash that needs to be blown away, or some obstacle that requires cutting down. Don't get caught empty-handed. Keep your hammer close by. Keep that leaf blower at the ready. And always carry your steel. Power tools. Because no matter what your day job or side hustle may be, there's no excuse for not being ready to put in some work.
And this concludes this broadcast for One Brothas Mind. We thank you for joining us. And as a part of the new Black media, B1 choices are mandatory. And being on code is required. But never fear. Yeshua the Christ is with you always. Shalom.